Hey, good afternoon. How's everybody doing? So today for the dynamic stretch and the warm up, we're going to need a few things. First, we're going to need either a yoga strap or a belt or a piece of rope. So if you need that, go and get that. We're also going to need at the end, we're going to need either a stability ball or a stool or a chair or a bench or something that we can put our feet up on when we do some of the more aggressive movements. Not too bright. I'm on a piece of concrete, but I recommend a yoga mat or a carpet or something like that to do all these movements off of. Everything we're going to do is going to be from either the seated position or we're going to be lying on our backs. Everything that as I mentioned, we're going to be doing the different hip bridge series. We're also going to be working on our hips and our hamstrings from a mobility and range of motion. Everything's going to be either for 30 seconds or we're going to be doing things for 5 or 10 repetitions for whatever it is that we do. So if you need any of those things, go and get them, and then we will begin. So we're going to start with just a series of pelvic tilts. I'm going to go ahead and lie here on the ground. The other thing when we're lying here on our backs, I want you guys to be lying comfortably with the head on the floor. If you need to get a pillow, also get a pillow. I'm going to be picking my head up, talking to you, so don't be cranking your neck. Just let your head stay back and relaxed on the floor or on a pillow. So we're going to begin with the just regular pelvic tilts in this supine position. I want to activate my feet. I'm going to grab at the ground with my toes, activate those arches. From here, I'm going to go through my posterior to anterior tilt. So posterior, I press that back into the ground, engage my abs. My butt picks up a little bit off the ground. And then anterior, I'm going to create a little bit of arch, a little bit of space in my lower back. I'm going to be pushing my butt into the ground. And we're just going to be working back and forth between those positions. Just want to kind of just explore what those end ranges are for you as I work back and forth between posterior, press into the ground, anterior, where I create that little bit of arch. And again, make sure as we go posterior, we engage the abs, and then anterior. Okay, so we're going to bring those knees at 90, hips at 90, and we're going to work ourselves back and forth. This will probably be a little bit more challenging just because we don't have our feet on the ground. So we really just need to focus on the hips and the pelvis and what it's doing. So we won't be able to get a little bit of push off from the ground. This is all going to be reliant on the hips and the pelvis. All right, we'll do one more here. Good. Okay, come to a seated position, and we're going to go just to a seated straddle. This is going to be 30 seconds. So I'm just going to spread my legs out. I'm going to sit up as tall as I possibly can. And then for 30 seconds, what we're going to do is I can grab at the inside of my legs here and then just kind of pull myself down into this stretch. I want to really think about keeping my spine as long as I can. I can walk my hands down my legs just a little bit further and just pull into that stretch. A little bit of hamstring, but also my adductors, the inner part of my thighs, stretching. Go about another 10 seconds here. Just really pulling myself down in position, see if I can walk my hands down my legs just a little bit further. Some of you probably be able to lay yourselves down on the ground. Not happening. Pull yourself down just a little bit further and relax. Okay, so we're going to do 10 hip bridges. So we're going to go back to that lying position on the ground. So I want you to establish posterior tilt, engage those abs, activate those feet, and we're doing 10 repetitions. A little bit of pause at the top here. So I'm simply, again, posterior tilt, lift and squeeze at the top and down. Make sure that I've got posterior tilt at the bottom, lift and squeeze at the top. 2, 3, 4, make sure my butt is tight, my belly is tight. 5, make sure my feet are activated in the ground. 6, 7, 8, at the top here, knees, hips, shoulders, everything in a straight line. 9, trying to get those hips as high as I can. And 10. Good, okay, so we're going to come back to the sitting position. We're going to need the yoga or the rope or the belt, whatever it is the first time. I'm gonna bring my foot in here to this figure 4 position. I'm gonna sit up nice and tall, and 30 seconds on the side, we're gonna walk ourselves or pull ourselves down the yoga strap, down the belt, closer to our feet. If you can go ahead and grab your foot, grab your foot. That's awesome if you can do that. And just pulling ourselves down. Again, trying to stay as long as we can, as opposed to, we don't want to necessarily, we don't want to kind of round ourselves over into position. I'm going to stay as tall as I possibly can, and then pull myself down the yoga strap. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Go with the other side. Think about twisting my torso so it's coming right at this foot, in this case my right foot, pulling myself down. I have the yoga strap kind of around my heel, my arch area. Again, pulling myself down. You're probably going to find that one side is going to be better than the other. So we're going to do another 10 seconds of this, and then we're going to go into 10 single leg hip bridges on each leg. Another 5 seconds. Pulling yourself down and relax. Okay. So we'll get back into that same position we were just in with that normal hip bridge, with that 2-footed hip bridge. And now we're just going to do one leg at a time. Still 10 repetitions per. All right. So my knees are going to stay together. This leg is not going to move. Knees are going to stay together. Just going to be my left leg that's going to be moving. All right. Establish that posterior tilt. Lift and squeeze. 1. Lift and squeeze. 2. 3. Belly tight. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Good. Okay. Go ahead and switch to the other side. So that left leg is going to be extended up. Press that lower back into the ground. Abs tight. Lift. 1. Trying to drive up as high as we can. 2. Driving up as high as we can. 3. 4. 5. Make sure that foot is active. That right foot is active. 6. So we're grabbing at the ground. 7. Those big toes, or that big toe. 8. Big toes driving into the ground. 9. And one more. 10. Cool. I think we're doing windshield wipers. Yeah. All right. So we'll do windshield wipers. So what? Left leg out straight. So we're going to do 5 of these on each leg. So the hip to the knee stays vertical. From the knee to the foot is going to move, but the movement occurs here at the hip. So it's not the knee. So it's a windshield wiper. So think about that lower leg, windshield wiping, penduluming. We're going to go out, we're going to go in. We're going to go out, we're going to go in. But all that action occurs here at the hip. All right, that hip's going to be the driver. Alrighty, so we're going to push out, hold it for a second, and then we're going to rotate in, hold it for a second, make sure that knee is vertical, pushing out, then in. You can kind of keep your hand out. I can put my hand on my knee if you feel like your knee is drifting. In. If you feel like your knee is drifting, then just kind of use your hands out as a little bit of a guide. You're not using your hands. We're going to rotate in. You're not using your hands to rotate the leg. You're just using your hands out to kind of guide your leg into place so that it doesn't move too much one way or the other, and in. Good. All right, and the other side. Here we're going to rotate in as much as we can. So we should be feeling a pull here on the inside of the hip. And out. And in. And rotate out. Again, using that hip, the muscles around the hip. Pull it, rotate in. 3. Rotate out. Rotate in. Out. One more of each. Rotate in, keeping those toes pointed straight up at the ceiling, and out. Good, okay. So now we're going to shift myself a little bit. We're going to establish that single leg hip bridge hold, and then we're going to be holding it statically, and then taking, in this case, the right leg, we're going to sweep it out to the side. So it will probably be a little bit easier if you kind of put your hands out in a T position to kind of balance yourself just a little bit. So we'll establish that single leg hip bridge hold like so, and then we're going to take that right leg and we're going to sweep out. 1, 2, 3. You're going to continue 4 to lift your hips as high as possible. 6, those right toes are pointing up to the sky. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, other leg. So our right leg is going to hold position. Continue to drive up as high as we can. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and one more, and 10. Good. Okay. So we're gonna do. Don't really have a good name for these, but we're gonna lie on our backs. I'm gonna angle myself here towards you. We're gonna take. Left leg is gonna be straight. Right leg is gonna be bent, and we're simply gonna be just pushing this knee down into the outside 5 times, and then we're gonna walk the foot out a little bit, and we're gonna push that knee down and in towards the other knee 5 times, all right, with a little bit of a hold in each one, all right? So from here, drive that knee, not using my hands, drive that knee down and hold. 1, drive that knee down and hold, so rotating through the hip. 2, drive that leg down, rotating at the hip. 3, driving down. 4, driving down. 5, good. All right, so we're gonna walk that foot out just a little bit, all right? And we're gonna push this knee down. All right, you can also pull your foot in a little bit closer to you. And feeling a stretch in the quad. Pushing that knee down. Trying to get that knee as close to the ground as possible. That's 2. We're gonna push that leg down. 3, push that leg down. 4, one more, push it down. And 5, good, okay. Let's switch to the other side. So right leg is out straight, left leg is going to be out at about a 45-degree angle. We're gonna roll to the outside of the foot and we push that leg down to the outside 5 times. Push it down. 1, so I'm feeling a lot of activity. Push it down on the outside of my hip. 2, as I push that knee down, I'm feeling a lot through that hip. 3 on the outside. 2 more. 4, one more. And 5, good, okay. So now we're coming to the inside. Walk that foot out a little bit, and then maybe pull that foot in a little bit closer to your butt. All right, we want to feel that quad stretch. Okay, drive that knee down. 1, drive that knee down. 2, drive that knee down. 3, drive it down. 4, and one more. 5, good, okay. Now this hip bridge series, another single leg. What we'll do is we're going to have the right leg out 30, 40 degrees, something like that. And we're going to keep it out in this position while we do those hip bridges, all right? So it's gonna be out, so we're gonna create a lot more core stability. Hands maybe angled out or out at a T to create more stability through your upper body. All right, create that little posterior tilt. Lift 1, we're doing 10, 2, Drive hard through that left side. 4, 5, maintain that posterior tilt. 6, 7, 8, 9, keep that leg out, that right leg out, and 10, good, okay. So right leg's going to come in, that's gonna be your drive leg, and your left leg is going to be rotated out 30, 40 degrees, something like that. All right, create that little bit of posterior tilt as best you can. Ready, and go. 1, 2, really activating with those feet. 3, grabbing at the ground. 4, so the feet are strong and active. That glute is strong and active, that right glute. 6, 7, 8, grabbing at the ground with that foot. 9, and 10. Good. Okay. What we got next? All right. So we've got 2 more stretches. We got a stretch, and then we're gonna go to the ball or the chair, and then we got 2 more stretches and then 2 more hip bridges, each with the stability ball or the stool, and we're gonna be using the yoga strap or the belt for the remaining stretches. These are 30 seconds apiece. So I can wrap it around the base of my foot, around the arch of the heel area. And I'm simply just gonna keep that left leg straight, and I'm gonna be pulling my leg towards my shoulder for 30 seconds, all right? So here we go. So just try and, as best you can, just relax through this. Relax through this. Let the stretch kind of take over. You might have to kind of play with that positioning if, there we go. So for me, I got really tight calves, so if I put it too close on my toes, then I end up getting too much of my calf, and then what I want to do is I want to get the hamstring. So if you're good, if you don't have tight calves, then you can kind of put the strap anywhere, but in my case, I got to put the strap to the back half of my foot. Let's go the other side so that I can isolate the hamstring. We're going to pull this, try and get into that stretch as much as we can. Just kind of breathe into it, relax into it, breathe into it. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay. So now we're gonna get the stability ball or the stool or the bench or whatever the case might be. I'm gonna use the stability ball here. So we're gonna do 10 hip bridges off of this raised object. All right. So I'm going to get my heels into the object. I'm gonna have my knees and my hips at about 90 degrees. And we're just gonna do our 10 hip bridges, all right? A little bit of posterior tilt, lift and squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Okay. So now the final hamstring stretch. Same position. We're going to bring that leg up and then let gravity pull it off to the side. All right. 30 seconds. 30 seconds apiece. So once it gets as far as it is coming down, then I'm going to pull it up towards my shoulder. And we're just going to hang out here for 30 seconds. Pulling it up as high as it'll go. 15 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and we'll switch to the other side. Again, let gravity just pull that thing down to the pull that leg down to the outside. So I really want to focus on keeping this hip down. I don't want to let this hip roll up. I want to make sure that I keep this hip down to the ground. Just breathe into it. Just let that stretch kind of work. Keep pulling up. Keep pulling that leg up, trying to max that thing out. Breathe nice and deep. Let those muscles relax. Another 3, 2, 1, and relax. Okay. All right. We got one more on the stability ball. If I can get my foot out of that. And we do a quick time check. Okay. So now we're going to do this final hip bridges. We're going to do 5 on the right, 5 on the left. So whatever object you're on, 5 on each side. All right, so we'll start with that right leg extended, and 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Okay. Now the other leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Okay. So that's that part. We're going to do a little bit more for the shoulders. With everything that you've been doing, you've actually been kind of warming up the arms and the shoulders a little bit, kind of all the bracing that you're doing into the ground. But we're just going to do a little bit of tabletop here. So staying on the ground, we're going to have those hands pointed backwards. The more that I bring my hands together, the more the stretch that I'm going to get. Really open up that chest and those shoulders. So from here, we're just going to start off in tabletop. Just going to raise ourselves up. Just going to hang out here. So knees, hips, shoulders. Ideally, everything's at a nice tabletop, right? Once I get that, then I can rock just a little bit. If you don't feel comfortable rocking, don't rock. All right, we're just going to hang out here. And we're just going to move ourselves nice and gentle back and forth. Okay, we're going to come back to neutral, and I'm just going to shift to the right and to the left very, very, very gently, incredibly gently. I want you to move to the right and to the left. If you can't, don't, right? Just come back to, if you can't do that next progression, just, go back to what you can do prior to, all right? All right, from here we're going to walk a little bit. One more time. And then finally I'm going to walk towards you. So side to side. Keep those hips up.